And I guess if we're going to use the tri-curve brush, let's see if we can find some that are. I'm going to turn on polyframe here. There we go, there's one. So I hit W, I grab this reinforced hosed here, and you're going to see I just grabbed this subtool, and you see we have three parts. We have a top polygroup, a bottom polygroup, and a middle polygroup. So essentially what this is going to do is it's going to have an end anchor, a beginning anchor, and a middle repeating section. And you have to have the brush oriented towards you as you want it to be drawn out. So like if I draw out this hose reference right now and I draw it out, you're going to see these clips right here are facing me. So it's drawing out towards me, as well as if you want the bottom piece, your bottom piece is going to be your start piece. So the screw port that's aiming to the right is the first one, and then screw port aiming to the left is the last one. So this is your end piece, this is your beginning piece. That's the basics of a tri-curve brush, and you're going to see this middle piece right here is just repeating over and over and over again. You're also going to see it's welded because that's a function of the tri-curve brush. So what we can do is, for instance, let's say we want to make this a straight line. So you can do as line, and you can just pull this out, and now you're getting a straight hose line. And also, if you hover over this, you can go through here and you can kind of move this thing around. If you start moving and then tap Control, you can actually twist as well. So that's some new functionality. And another thing you do is you can smooth. So if I pull this down here, and you can see I have a kink in the hose here. If I start moving this and I tap Shift, you're going to see it's going to turn into a smooth, and I can just smooth this line out. So I don't even have to go in here and touch the smooth button. It'll just do that for me. And as you can probably guess, under BI, brush insert, there's a lot of like IMM curve here. There's all sorts of tri-curve brushes you can pull from, like this hose right here. This is another one. Start, middle, finish, repeating middle. So let's go ahead and make one of our own. So go out of edit mode, hit Control N. Let's go into our simple brush here. We're going to grab a cube 3D, go into edit mode, make polymesh 3D, and we'll go ahead and scale this in a little bit. Let's use that gizmo functionality we learned a little while back and put in a ring 3D. Of course, we're going to hold down Control and tap, and then we can put in a ring, and then we can move this out. And let's go ahead and go to our deformation, inflate, and we can inflate this up. So we've got a bottom start point, and then we got a middle part right here. So I'm going to Control drag this up. I'm going to rotate this around, holding down Shift. We'll position this, and then I'm going to Control drag this up, and we're going to rotate this around like so. And Control drag to unmask. And you know what I'm going to do? Just to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to go to Polygroups, Auto Groups. And now I can just hold down W and then Control tap any of these, and then reset, and then I can just move these things around as needed. So this will be my start piece. So if I want to, I can go to Subtool here, I can hold down Control Shift, isolate this. We're going to go ahead and do Split, Hidden. I can duplicate this, and then I can move this one up to the other end here. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do this wrong, just so we can kind of learn what these middle and end points are doing. I think that'll be better. So I'm going to take this top one here. I'm just going to hit my hotkey for Merge Down, which is Merge Down here. So we know we need a start polygroup. So I'm going to grab a little piece. Oops. Hold down Control Shift, go to Select Rectangle. I'm going to grab a little piece of this bottom one. Control Shift A, hit Control W. I'm going to grab all these middle chain links here, Control Shift A, Control W, and then this top one is already polygroup. So we have 1, 2, 3 polygroups. So if I go to Brush, Create Insert Mesh New, now we have our Insert Mesh brush. Now we got to go over here and we got to turn on Curve Mode. So now if we do this, we'll make it bigger, you're going to see, oh, my chains are kind of busted. With the start and the end points are correct, but that chain really isn't overlapping. So how do we fix this? I'm going to go ahead and take off these start and end points here. So I'm going to Control Shift select those, Control Shift drag, and then we can do a split hidden. I'm going to grab this chain link here. So if this is repeating and I move this up one, you're going to see, oh yeah, these chains, as it moves this up one, these aren't going to overlap correctly. However, if I hold down Control Shift and I grab this one, do Control Shift A, I'm going to grab a little piece of this one, Control Shift A. Let's go ahead and split hidden on this one. So if I take this subtool here with solo mode turned on and I Control drag this up, okay, now when this goes up one, this is going to repeat correctly. If I Control drag this one up, it's going to repeat correctly. So this one will work. However, if I go out of solo mode, now we've got like this extraneous piece hanging out, and then I've got this one connected to this one. So here's what needs to happen. So this middle repeating part is correct. So now the endpoints need to be compatible with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to merge it with this top piece here. So I'm going to hold down Control Shift, isolate this one. We're going to split hidden. Now, I know that this subtool is this one right here because we have simple subtools, but what I like to do if I have like hundreds of subtools, if I want to know where these top two are, I'm going to hold down Alt, I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm either going to bent arrow up or bent arrow down just to know where it is. It's already at the very top, so I'm good. I'm going to Alt tap this one, hold down Shift, bend arrow up, and it's going to go to the very top. So I know my top two subtools are these two right here. I'm going to merge it down, so merge down, and now those two are together. These are good. I'm not going to touch these. This one, however, needs to change. So see how this one has an endpoint with a little loop on it? This one right here also needs a little loop on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Alt tap this one. I'm just going to borrow this one real quick. So I'm going to duplicate this subtool off. I'm going to hold down Shift and just pull this down. So now this bottom piece has a loop on it. This top piece right here I don't need. I'm going to hold down Control Shift, grab a little piece of it, Control Shift A, Control Shift drag to invert that, and now we'll delete hidden. Now I want to merge this one and this one together. So again, if I want to know where this one is, hold down Shift, shoot it to the top, Alt tap this one, hold down Shift, shoot it to the top, merge it down. Now we have an endpoint that's compatible. However, when I move this one up, it conflicts with that. All I got to do is rotate this thing. I can hold down Alt and go to Unmesh Mesh Center, hold down Shift and rotate this 90 degrees. So now this bottom piece here, let's go ahead and move this into place a little better. There we go. So now we have a bottom subtool, a middle subtool, and a top subtool. Before I merge these all together, I'm going to hit Control W on this one, Alt tap this one, Control W, make it all one polygroup, and just to be safe, Control W, make that all one polygroup. And now I can go to the top subtool, merge down, just by going merge down here. Now we have, and then, okay, so these top and bottom subtools are polygroups. They're not the same. You can Control Shift click it, but I'm going to make it a little more obvious. So we got green, red, and orange. So now if I hit B, create insert mesh new, now we've got a new insert mesh brush, works like that. Now when we turn on curve mode, we drag it out. Now we've got a beautiful chain, the links work correctly, and we're good to go.